So we are in Rotterdam. We have a nice company of a small cat.
Yeah.
And you are a creator of created Rosetta, which is a platform for producing music. You created with Josephine Zwaan. And but you are also playing music. You are a singer and you're a performer. So you basically do a lot of things. When I came here, I just wondered when the boys are always want to be the guitar heroes. They want to stand alone in the music hall and then play nice solos and stuff like that. And often girls are doing collaborations. They do a band and they do something together.
I think I have two thoughts on it. First of all, it's also about me, and I really like to create a whole world around a song or around an idea, or the idea for a whole album, for example, and then tell a story and then search who can play along and who can co-create this world, this musical world together with me. So I think that's what I really love about also production and creating music and creating this whole almost like a movie around songs and around an idea or a stream of thoughts and the song. But I also spoke a lot about it with the platform Rosetta, because we talk a lot about, like, of course there's an imbalance in gender in music studios. You have a lot of guys and very little women or girls or non-binary people who work as producers in studios. But we also talk about, is there really a difference between how guys approach music and music production and women? I heard somebody say that, and this was like a guy I work with, and he said like, well, if I work with women, with female, then they create this whole wide range in the idea about the music, so that it's really in their perspective or their imagination about every layer of music, instead of just playing one part very well and being the lead guitarist, you know, what you said. And I do recognize this a bit, because I don't really have the urge to play, like to put this amp. This is a nice amp, but I don't feel the urge. I would like to use it like for a bass line or like some guitar stuff, but not to play like the big lead.
But it could be so loud. I mean, these 4 speakers.
It's so loud. Even if you put it on the lowest gain, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, but most probably because we are in a normal house. Let's say if you are in
that would be different.
In a warehouse or something.
I'm waiting for the day that I have like a nice big studio, and then I can put the volume, turn it on.
Why music? I mean, you can do a lot of other creative things.
Yeah, I think because it comes super natural to me. When I was a kid, I always used to make up songs, and then I would say to my sister, do you know this and this song? And then I started just singing something, and she would respond like, that's not an actual song. And she would be annoyed, but that was like our dynamics. And then as soon as I started to learn how to read, I also started to play piano, and I had lessons for like 6 years, and it really felt, it's like a translation of my thoughts and my feelings. So it's like, if I'm having a lot of thoughts or emotions or something, it's just like blah, then music comes out. So that's why.
I don't know actually if you really need to say that, okay, I'm a musician, I'm a producer, I'm a singer, because then your name card could be very long. You sing songs, you perform songs, you write songs. But you also do producing things, you write text, and then you a lot of things.
Yeah, so what could be the sum of things? Maybe just an artist.
But maybe an organizer, no? How about this Rosetta thing? I mean that not many people are trying to establish a kind of, okay, maybe it's a too big word to institution, but still you have teaching lessons, you have workshops, summer camps, so a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things.
So if you just want to play music, you just really rent a warehouse somewhere and invite some people, and that's it. But no.
That's also because a lot of things I do come from kind of activism or trying to make things better or going against inequality, and that's why I really had the urge to do this, you know, like, because I hate it. It's so against my, like, everything I believe in if I see inequality. So then I think, like, okay, with words, with songs, with Rosetta, I just try to make things a little bit better.
It was also natural that you created this for female artists and non-binary things, or is it even important, or it just came out?
Well, the only reason it exists is because they're underrepresented and less seen in the music industry behind the scenes. So in studios or when you're on stage, people ask you like, "Oh, do you know how to use this amp?" Because and then I have a lot of female friends who are, for example, a bass guitar player, and then technicians start touching their buttons from their amp. And guys around me, they say like, I would be so furious if a live engineer would come over and start touching my stuff. And for girls, it's super normal. That comes from a place like of how we are perceived and how we're seen as girls in music. And that's why the platform exists as well. In this way, I'm not doing what normally guys do, because guys say that, yeah, I'm the lead guitarist, I'm on the front and everything. Mm-hmm. And I think that Paris Budapest Metro is good because it's not about me. I'm talk less, I'm just asking other people, and other people saying that, okay, what is important for them, and for me it's supernatural and more important, because I know how I feel and what I think about things, but I also know that it's a big world and so many interesting things are going there. So so it's amazing to get to know new peoples and yeah, I totally agree. With the platform, sometimes I think, okay, I'm gonna quit. It's so much work. I'm a writer and an artist, so I have like this mind that goes into all these directions. And then if you organize stuff, you have to be really like, okay, plannings, budgeting, making decisions, and that's hard for me, you know, because I'm a very intuitive person. But then it just gives me so much joy to see other people develop and to listen to what they're doing and searching and creating, and it's super nice and very inspiring. So that's also a reason why I really love to do it.
But maybe it's also an interesting message that even when you're creating your own music, you have to make decisions. That, for example, okay, this I want to play in guitar or in piano or in other instrument, and you can also emulate some instruments. If you want to play saxophone, you can do it. Maybe
that is
not.
True.
Yeah. So in this way, I think this kind of organizing thing is also kind of you have to do that because it's there. Nobody do that.
Yeah, you have to prioritize like what's important to really focus on, and what's less important, and what could you like quickly do to get back to the thing that's really important. That also has to do with organizing your practice as an artist, and you have to do so many things, like make writers, reply to emails, reply to other people you work with, and do that quickly. And then at the same time you're on the road. So many times I'm trying to be in this here, like working on my music, and then people are calling all the time. And then a lot of days I start really working at 6 o'clock in the evening, because then everybody goes home, like people who were calling me during the day.
And then you have time, yes, I know.
And then things get quiet, the kids upstairs go to bed, it becomes like, and then that's the best.
You mentioned in an interview that you want to create a physical space for this producing thing, a studio. So is it advancing a little?
It is, but it has to do with funding. It's a very boring story. So we're having all these conversations. The space exists in form of that it moves around, and we are doing courses and stuff. Then eventually we want to create our own studio and physical space. But having a lot of coffees with people and writing applications and stuff, but that's going well. So it's a bit of a boring story. But we're working on it.
You meet a lot of people also in Rosetta, and did you experience that you met someone and then, oops, it just changed what you think about music?
When I met Josephine, who I started the platform together with, she's like an amazing, she studies now, is now doing a PhD in philosophy, and from that perspective talking about music production. If you know her, it's like, yeah, very logical. When we started it, we had a lot of conversation about how we wanted to talk about music production, because in the beginning you have like the thought of being as a producer in the studio with a live band and set up and recording it, and then you're like engineering and producing and bringing people and the music together, like with live recording. And then it developed like of course into the situation that people can have their home studio and stuff, but then we wanted to talk and to work around variety of genres. So we didn't want to focus on indie pop, just indie pop, but we also wanted to have hip hop and pop and R&B and metal and EDM all together, because the core of producing is for everybody the same, I think. What is audio? How do you what can you do with it to make it sound better, and how do you record, and how does a DAW work and stuff. Josephine told me that she looks at music production from a more African perspective, where rhythm is the center instead of harmonic music. So it's, if you write it down, we in the Western world we see music very much like this, as a score from the left to the right, and then you can read it. And that from a more African rhythmical perspective, it's more visualized like a circle with all these rhythmical things, and you have polyrhythmic music a lot, because you have this circle of patterns and you can twist it around, and then that's a completely different perspective on music production. For me, there was such an eye-opener and a really interesting way to look at it, and to really put it like this, like you can visualize it like a circle or like a note bar that goes from left to right. We took that as well as like an image for like lessons and like how you can think about music. And so now I'm creating music for a theater show, and I use this as well, like because it's very polyrhythmic, where I use like certain rhythms, and then a sixth over a 4-bar comes in, and then I use like so it's all these rhythmical patterns. But it's really nice to have this image in your head. You can,
yeah, I mean, when I buy a rock magazine or a guitar magazine, at the end there's always a teaching part, and then you have the tabs, and yeah, just before the tabs go on and you play the notes, you have the rhythm in small letters, that 4/4 or something, 6/4, whatever, and so it looks like that it's not really important, because and the tempo is written in very small letters. So it's just like an accompanying thing, but the main thing is always what you are playing, what the melody is.
Yeah, the melodies and stuff. Yeah, to listen to it and to really like hear what is happening it's for us it's super difficult, no?
Yeah. So you are also a writer, and you will have a new album soon. So what is it about? Is it about more rhythm now, or not?
No, maybe in society or something, I don't know. It's about borders and boundaries, but it's the same word in Dutch. So you have grenzen, and that word it has the meaning of boundaries and borders, like from countries. But if you say, here I draw a line, you're crossing my line, then you also use the same word. So that's what basically it's about, because worldwide now borders are moving because of climate change, because of war, because of political situations, and people are like moving around, and there's a lot of migration, and the response is also that people draw their own like boundaries, like no, we don't want this here, or we vote for this person who has like this very right-winged nationalistic point of view, which putting people really against each other. So the album is called The In-Between Space, Tussenruimte, and it talks about this in-between space between different people and ideas and backgrounds. And that's something, this space, that's something I really see as a positive thing, and as something that defines us, and that we are as people. And our cities are like so diverse. Also my identity, that's my feeling, that it's our identity, that we live together in all these spaces. And we wanted, together with like Rory, he co-produced the album, he's the guitarist I always play together with. And we made like positive album about it.
If I tell you that you can work with anyone in the world you like, even with I don't know, Rolling Stones, then who would you choose?
I think I would like to work with Rick Rubin, the producer. I think everything I see and hear from him and read about his how he works, he's a big inspiration for, I think, many producers. So that would be super cool. And I really love Emily King, for example. She's a singer from New York and a songwriter. I think she is really cool, and the people that are around her, and how she performs and stuff. So it would be super awesome too.
Thank you very much for the discussion.